Level 1. The recruit. You didn't stumble into SWAT. Nobody does. You applied 3 times before they even looked at you twice. The first 2 attempts, you failed the physical assessment. Not barely. Failed. The third time, something clicked. You passed with scores that didn't impress anyone but were good enough to get you a letter. Report to the academy. Monday, 0500 hours. The academy is a converted warehouse on the east side of the city. 40 recruits on day 1. Them out. They just realized what this actually costs and decided the price was too high. You understand why after the first 72 hours, days start in complete darkness and end the same way. 6 miles before breakfast, push-ups until your arms stop remembering what straight feels like, then classroom work, law, procedure, use of force doctrine, the kind of material that sounds simple until someone asks you to recite it while exhausted. Your instructor, Sergeant Gaza, moves like a ghost. He has this habit of appearing directly behind you when you least expect it. Never raises his voice. That's the part that gets under your skin. He just waits, silent until your hands stop shaking. One morning, a recruit named Whitfield talks back during a drill. 3 words. That's not fair. Gaza doesn't blink. Drop. Whitfield drops. The rest of you drop with him. Whitfield is gone by Friday. You say nothing for the next 6 weeks. You learn what silence costs. You also learn what it saves. Graduation comes faster than you expected and slower than you wanted. 23 recruits remain. They hand you a badge, heavier than you thought it would be. You stare at it for maybe 5 seconds before someone tells you to move along. That weight stays with you. Level 2, the patrol officer. You're 21 now. 2 years of patrol work. This is mandatory before SWAT even considers your application. Your beat is East Compton. Night shifts mostly. You ride with a veteran named Delokwa who has 15 years on the job and eats cold tamales at 3 in the morning like it's normal. He never rushes. You ask him once why he moves so slow when a call comes in. He looks at you like you asked why water is wet. Because the ones who sprint toward every call burn out or get hurt. You pace yourself or the job eats you. Domestic disturbance. 3rd floor apartment off Wilmington Avenue. You knock. Door opens 6 inches, chain still on. A woman stares through the gap. Her eye is swollen shut. She tells you everything is fine. You write the report exactly as it happened. Document the injury. Document her words. The report goes nowhere. 2 months later, same address. Same woman. Different eye. You write another report. The pattern becomes clear. The law and justice are 2 separate roads that sometimes cross and sometimes don't. Nobody warned you about that part. End of year 2, you submit your SWAT application. Delacqua signs your recommendation letter without being asked. You'll be good at it, he says. You don't panic. That matters more than anything else. You want to believe him. You're not sure you do. Level 3, the SWAT candidate, 23 years old. Selection week is 5 days. They call it assessment week. You call it something else by day 3. It starts with a timed obstacle course at 04:30, before sunrise, then shooting qualification, 80 rounds. Moving targets, low light conditions, then a written psychological evaluation that asks questions designed to make you second guess every answer, then a panel interview with 4 senior operators who stare at you without blinking and ask what you'd do if you breached a room. Your partner went down and the suspect was still armed. 2 seconds to answer. They watch your eyes while you talk. You can feel them cataloging every micro expression, every hesitation. Day 4 brings a simulated hostage scenario in a decommissioned school building. Everything that can go wrong does. The civilian screams. Lighting cuts out. Radio communication drops. Afterward, a senior operator named Hole debriefs you individually. You hesitated at the threshold. Why? You tell him the truth. You didn't know if your partner had a clean angle. He writes something down. Doesn't say what. 62 candidates started selection. 11 are chosen. You're one of them. Nobody celebrates. Something about the whole experience tells you this was the easy part. The real test starts now. Level 4, the probationary operator, 24 years old, 18 months on probation. You're on the team, but not of the team. Not yet. LAPD's Metropolitan Division, D Platoon. It operates differently than what most people imagine. No movie moments here, just repetition. The same entry pattern drilled 400 times until your body executes without conscious thought. Abandoned buildings, parking structures, shipping containers repurposed as room mock-ups. You train in all of it. Sergeant Reyes runs close quarters combat, former Army Ranger. He has the patience of someone with nothing left to prove. Your first live call-out is a barricade situation. Man with a rifle locked inside a motel room in Venice. You're positioned at the east corner of the building. 4 hours holding that position. Negotiator talks him out. You never fire around. Some of the newer guys look disappointed. You're not. Jole told you during selection that a SWAT call-out where nothing happens is a perfect call-out. 14 months in, you start to understand. Month 18, probation ends. No ceremony. Reyes nods at you across the briefing room. That's enough. Level 5, the full operator. 26 now. 31 call-outs under your belt. Fired your weapon in the field twice. The work isn't what television promised. Between call-outs, thousands of training hours accumulate. Rope descents from rooftops, explosive breaching certification, hostage rescue scenarios run until they feel like muscle memory. Underwater search operations, night vision drills, medical training that goes beyond basic first aid, tourniquets, chest seals, needle decompressions. You become fluent in all of it without realizing when it happened. Boyle Heights, active shooter, elementary school. The call comes at 11:14. You're in the van before the briefing finishes. Your team moves through a side entrance in under 90 seconds. Building already evacuated. Shooter barricaded in a supply closet off the gymnasium. You hold the corridor. Negotiator works for 40 minutes. Door opens. Hands come out first. Debrief afterward. Nobody discusses feelings. Not the culture. You talk about angles, communication gaps, stacking order, what worked, what didn't. On the drive back, your partner Torres says quietly, "Good day." That's the whole conversation. The weight of this job doesn't live in the callouts. It lives in the nights between them when your mind replays the hallway and counts the seconds differently. Level 6, the sniper. 29. You're tapped for sniper school. Not everyone gets asked. 8 weeks in the Mojave. The instruction is precise, methodical, completely humbling. First 2 weeks teach you to do nothing. How to hold position in the sun without moving, without coughing, without shifting weight. A sniper's first discipline is stillness. Your spotter is a woman named Kwan, 12 years on the team, surgical calm that makes you feel perpetually behind. She doesn't waste words. In the field, she communicates in half sentences. You learn to complete them. The legal standard for a sniper shot is exact. Imminent threat. No alternative. Clear identification of target. You memorize this not as policy but as weight. Every scenario ends with a decision. Sometimes you fire. Sometimes you don't. The debrief is always the same. Explain your reasoning to a room of people paid to find holes in it. First field deployment as sniper is a kidnapping case in Encino. Positioned on a rooftop across from a warehouse for 7 hours. Suspect releases the hostage without a shot fired. You pack your rifle. Climb down the ladder. Kwan says, "Good day." You're starting to recognize what that actually means. Level 7, the team leader. 33 years old. Responsible for 6 operators now. That changes something fundamental. Before, you only trusted your own training. Now you trust theirs. And you shape it. Morning drills. Qualification reviews. You study their strengths. More carefully, their gaps. Newer operator named Paxton. Technically sharp. Excellent shooter. But in scenario training, he decides too fast. Moves before he has full information. You pull him aside after a drill. Speed is useful. Accuracy is better. The two aren't the same thing. He listens. Over 4 months, you watch him slow down incrementally. First major call out as team leader is a bank robbery turned hostage situation downtown. 3 armed suspects, 11 hostages. Building with 17 entry points. Command gives you 20 minutes to prepare. You use 18. Operation takes 4 minutes. All 11 hostages walk out. 2 suspects surrender. 1 flees through a service exit, apprehended 2 blocks away. After action report, you credit your team. Every name, every position, every correct decision under pressure. Command asks why you didn't take personal credit for the breach call. Because I made 2 mistakes in there, and they covered for both. That's what belongs on the report. Level 8, the negotiator, 37 years old. FBI's Crisis Negotiation Unit training. Quantico, Virginia, 14 days. You expected tactics. What you find resembles philosophy more than procedure. Lead instructor is a former hostage negotiator named Brandt. 11 years working international kidnappings before returning stateside. Opens the first session with a question. What does a person in crisis want more than anything? The room answers. To be heard. To be safe. To escape. To survive. Brandt shakes his head at all of them. They want to matter. Everything else is negotiable. You carry that sentence for the rest of your career. Back in the field, your role shifts. Still operational, but now you're also the voice. The one on the phone when the door is closed and the situation has stopped making sense to everyone inside it. Tuesday in February. Man named Gerald locked in his Silver Lake apartment with a firearm. Wife left. Job ended. Tells you on the phone there's no reason to come out. You stay on the line 3 hours and 40 minutes. Don't promise things will be fine. Don't threaten. Don't rush. Just ask questions and listen to the pauses between his answers. 11:52 at night, door opens. Gerald sits on the front step, puts his face in his hands, cries. You sit beside him on the concrete. Say nothing. Some wins don't make the news. Those are usually the ones that cost the most. Level 9, the commander. 43. You command the unit now. 41 operators, support staff, budget, the weight of every decision made in your name. The job is mostly invisible. You don't breach doors anymore. You approve training budgets, review after-action reports, sit in briefings with department brass and city officials who want SWAT available for everything and accountable for anything that goes wrong. High-profile call-out in Hollywood goes badly. Not catastrophically, just badly. Suspect shot during breach. Shooting legally justified. Operator followed protocol exactly, but footage from a bystander's phone captures 15 seconds without context. On the news within the hour. You hold a press conference that afternoon. Precise, calm, honest. Don't use the word unfortunate. Don't use the phrase the system worked. You say a man was shot. We owe his family and this community a full accounting of what happened and why. We will provide that. Your supervisor pulls you aside afterward. That was too direct. You say, that was accurate. Full review clears the operator completely. Bystander footage seen in full context shows a different story than the 15-second clip. Community trust, once cracked, takes 2 years to partially restore. You learned something in those 2 years you didn't fully understand before. Hardest thing about this job isn't the callouts. It's what you owe the city after them. Level 10. The end of the line. 51. Folding chair in a gymnasium in Englewood. Retirement ceremony. Yours. Speeches happen. People in the room who worked alongside you for more than 2 decades. Some younger than your service record. Someone reads from a list of operations. Hostage rescues. Barricade resolutions. Lives protected. The number is specific and large, and somehow still feels incomplete because the list doesn't include the calls that never made the list. Conversations in the dark, doors that opened quietly, moments that ended without incident because someone did their job without needing to be seen doing it. Sergeant Reyes in the back of the room, retired 8 years before you, drove 3 hours to be here, doesn't say much, shakes your hand, nods once, means more than every speech combined.